Hello everyone, Solution here again with Proton Audio, and today we're talking about equalizers. Yes, equalizers. Now before I move on into this, kindly hit the subscribe button if you're new, and if you've been watching for a while and you've not subscribed yet, kindly consider doing so. This actually helps us to, it helps us a lot actually. Subscribe, like, share. Thank you very much. Now, when it comes to equalizers, there are different kinds of equalizers. But today we'll be talking specifically about the parametric equalizer. Now, what is a parametric equalizer first of all? What is a parametric equalizer? What does it do? So a parametric equalizer is, let me just show you. So I already have one loaded up on my main. Yeah, this is a parametric equalizer. So what a parametric equalizer does is that it gives us more freedom. It gives us a lot of freedom when it comes to controlling our sound, equalizing our sounds. And it's actually very good for tonal shapings, and honestly speaking, it is what is basically used a lot. I use it a lot, and even on live mix, and a lot of engineers use parametric equalizer a lot nowadays. A lot. That is both on hardware, that is your digital mixers, or even on softwares like Studio One, Logic Pro. Parametric EQ are used a lot, and they are good for tonal shapings, and especially for when you need to be surgical. When you need to be surgical, you need a parametric EQ. You need a parametric EQ. Sure, vintage EQ could also do it, but parametric EQ actually does it better, at least for me. So, moving on, I already have a MUI song loaded up here that I'm currently working on. I'm currently working on this. So, this one has a full band that is from the low to the highs. And once again, you should understand, please, when dealing with EQ, especially if you're new to EQ, learn about your frequencies. According to research, the frequency a human being can safely hear is between 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. Again, the frequency a human being can safely hear or understand or perceive is between 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. Sure, there are sounds above that frequency too, but the one a human being can safely hear that our brain can regulate for us is between 20 Hz and 20,000 Hz. Now, at first we usually add just two EQ, how I put it, just two range for the EQ, which is just low and the high. Then we add low, mid, and high, and now most recently we are using low, mid, high, mid, and high. So just in case you see them somewhere, the low frequency is between 20 Hz. I think I have something over here for that. Yeah, something like this. The low frequency is between 20 Hz and 200 Hz. Basically, everything below 200 Hz is a low frequency. Everything between 200 and 500 Hz is a low mid frequency. Everything between 500 and 2000 Hz is an high mid frequency. And sometimes, actually, depending on the kind of thing you're doing, you could also extend to up to 4K Hz. But everything above 4K Hz, it's high frequency. Everything above 4K Hz is high frequency. So, moving on, how do we use EQ? What do we use EQ for? We use EQ to shape sound. It is one of the things, one of the equipments in our arsenal that we use to shape sounds. And any DAW you're using, you usually have a kind of equalizer there, and most definitely you usually have a parametric EQ there. So, what do we use a parametric EQ for? Let's say I want to, an EQ for in general basically. Let's say I want to boost something. Let's say there's a particular element, or let's say I want to hear the low frequency of a particular song more, or I want to hear the mid frequency, or I want the crispy part of a particular music to be heard more. EQ works for that. For example, this particular song, this particular music that I'm working on. So for this, now let's say I want to increase the low frequency. Remember, low frequency is in between, anything below 200 Hz is a low frequency. So let's see, I put this. You get the idea, right? So the same thing actually works for both the mid frequencies and the high frequencies. So let's say I want to do the same for an high frequency. There's something I want to hear more. And when using EQ again, you have to be careful about what you boost and what you boost like this. This is boosting, and what you cut like this. You don't want to mistakenly take out the entire life out of your music, and you don't want to boost the wrong thing too. Very, very important to take note of that. So boosting the wrong thing, for example, right now boosting that mid is definitely wrong. It is definitely wrong. So it's better to know when to boost and when to cut. And the most important equipment in your arsenal that will help you do this is your ears. Is your ears. That's Maxi, by the way. It is your ears. Your ears is the most important thing in your arsenal. That is what will help you do this well. You need to train your ears. Very, very important. No matter how good a chart you are, it won't always help you if your ears are not trained. Sure, the charts are meant there as guidelines. They are there as guidelines, but not every sound, not everything you're trying to mix, not everything you're trying to work on would that chart work for. There are some things you want to work on that your chart just do not work for. You would have to rely on your own ears. Thank you very much. I hope you subscribe. Thank you very much again. Please, please, please subscribe, share, hit the like button, and comment if there's anything you want to source out again. More of this video will be coming out soon, hopefully very, very soon after this. I hope to see you in the next one.